Professor Arora joined BMR Munjal University as the Vice-Chancellor about 1.5 years ago, and he is now defining the future of our university. So this is where the topic of the future of computing becomes so important for us. Now I would like to introduce our guest, Mr. Kundan Kumar Lal, who has 30 plus years of IT related senior leadership experience in building businesses, handling aggressive corporate and client leadership roles, and solidifying profitable executive level relationships at Fortune 500 companies. Lal is recognized for the capacity to delineate and articulate corporate vision and then galvanize teams to embrace it. He drives himself and his team hard, managing with honesty, integrity, and respect while building unparalleled team loyalty. Currently, Mr. Lal evangelizes accelerated growth of artificial intelligence research and implementation in India. He heads at Vitti and Vitti Research Foundation, which is a Section 8 non-profit organization delivering AI and emerging technology-based projects, products, and training. So it is in this context about artificial intelligence for actually people like us who only think of AI as letters of the alphabet. So today's discussion becomes very important for us also to understand all about the future of computing, that is artificial intelligence. So I would now like to invite our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Manoj Arora, to kindly initiate the session. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nandita. First of all, I must say that we all are going through a very, very difficult phase due to COVID pandemic, which has impacted the whole world in one way or the other. The world has become a standstill. Uncertainties loom, but I'm sure that the intelligent human sapiens have always fought and will fight again to come out of this phase victorious, as well as fight the invisible enemy. I hope that you and your families are safe and healthy, and above all, keeping high spirits and remaining positive. This brief pause to our lives has given us many good things. We are rethinking, we are rejuvenating, we are relearning, and we are reimagining the future. You all know we are living in Industry 4.0 era, where we are talking of artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, data analytics, cloud computing, IoT, 5G, automation and robotics, 3D printing, health technology, digital transformations, digital economy, education technology, and whatnot. Every day, in fact, we are generating huge amount of data through numerous devices. Almost all of us are either on Facebook or on Instagram or on WhatsApp or on LinkedIn. We ourselves are generating huge data. If the mankind would not have invented artificial intelligence and machine learning, perhaps we would have been a completely disorganized and unstructured world today. These technologies have intruded in every part of our life, so much so that we will not be able to breathe without these tools in years to come. The recent example is online learning and assessment. Artificial intelligence and machine learning have helped all the educational technology companies to take the learning to people's doorsteps in their comfort environment, at the pace they want to learn, at any time they want to learn, and at any time they want to get evaluated. And I can go on and on. In fact, learning has become personalized learning, all due to the tools of artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, and cloud computing. The usage is going to increase many folds, I'm sure. As I said, it will become our lifeline. Now it is up to us whether we want to use it or abuse it, since there is another side of it as well. We are a young, innovative, but upcoming university. We shifted to online learning and assessments very swiftly during this COVID period and have completed all our academic activities. We will integrate online learning into our regular academic delivery, as the younger generation is very agile and adaptive to work on devices, to work on apps, and on emerging software learning tools. I'm happy to share that we have introduced artificial intelligence, data sciences, IoT, automation, robotics, cybersecurity, data analytics, digital marketing, business analytics into all our UG and PG programs, be it BBA, BBA LLB, BA LLB, MBA, and BTech. We have created a cross-disciplinary culture where students have huge flexibility in choosing courses from one specialization to another as major, minor, or otherwise any kinds of electives. Our curricula consists of more than 50% of experiential learning and hands-on learning and is very dynamic. We change the content in real time. We have completed 6 years of our existence. I am proud to say that yesterday in NIRF 2020 ranking announced by Government of India, our School of Management has been adjudged 37th overall in the management category in the country. We are amongst the top 10 private management schools in the country. We applied for the first time this year under this category. Our third batch of BTech programs will graduate in 2020, and therefore we will become eligible to apply in this engineering category also in 2021. We have the right ingredients, be it infrastructure, be it faculty, be it teaching and learning processes, be it pedagogy, be it research and development, or be it innovation and entrepreneurship. We are not compromising on quality, and you will find us on the top of the world one day, I'm sure. With our partners and academic mentors like Imperial College London, University of Warwick, Fraunhofer Institutes, Microsoft, IBM, KPMG, Siemens, Shell, and of course Vitti Research Foundation, we are confident that we shall be able to traverse intelligently and smoothly. We have a bright future, no doubt. Now I will request Mr. Kundana to show us the future of computing, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and machine learning. In fact, we both started using machine learning in late 1980s and early 1990s. So we are prolific users of these technologies. Mr. Kundana Lal leads a group called Vitti Foundation, which dreams, eats, chews, and practices artificial intelligence 24/7. He will show us the future of computing. He also happens to be our adjunct faculty and is guiding our university to adopt and adapt new generation of technologies. But before he starts, some logistics. I will be the moderator of this session. The IT department has kept your devices on mute. Shri Kundana now will make a presentation. After this, we will have a question and answer session. You can key in your questions, queries under Q&A section. Some questions I will read. If required, I may ask the IT team to unmute the person who wants to pose his or her question live. Over to you, Kundana.
Thank you, sir, and good evening to all. I hope you are able to listen me, sir. My voice is coming over.
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So let me, and thanks for the introduction, sir. And before I start, let me give a little brief about me, because I heard the wordings which Ms. Ma'am Nandita ma'am came out with. I'm an IT guy, basically, and all my career I have been in IT companies, delivering IT applications and products globally. That is what I have been doing. But one intervention which you aptly pointed out, that when we started our career, I did my master's in AI from Vitti Mesra. And that is how the interest has been into the AI space. And when I looked in 2017 odd, that the winter of AI is over, and there had been a few reasons. I'll deliberate upon those reasons. Then we started this organization with the Research Foundation, and we also started an organization known as Vitti. So Vitti is a Sanskrit word. It means intelligence, and when you add Ati to it, it becomes super intelligence. And let me tell you, the countries and the corporations and MNCs who are investing heavily into AI at this point of time, and enterprises, they are all trying to achieve artificial superintelligence. So that's the goal. So let me go to the slides. If you look on my slide, the slide which is visible to you all, you see we Homo sapiens, I mean the humans, we are there. We are the most dominant species at this point of time. And we are not only ruling the world, but we are destroying the world, Earth, with all our inventions and technologies which we have currently, right? But there is a guy coming up at the background very fast, and this gentleman who is coming up, we call him ASI, Artificial Superintelligence, okay? And we should be very, very cognizant of this guy, okay? So let me go to the second slide of mine, and why we should be Right. Hold on. So if you look at, I hope I was able to shift to my second slide.
Yes, please go on.
Okay, wonderful, sir. Wonderful. So if you can, if you look at this particular slide, you will see that when artificial super intelligence will be there, we will be on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay. This is the prediction, and this is not me. These are some of the gentlemen. If you look down below on my slide, you know that the right-hand corner guy, Elon Musk, right? He heads the SpaceX, Tesla, Solar City, and all. And this gentleman came out and said recently that we are summoning the demon. Okay, that was statement. अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलूं तो उसका मतलब होता है हम राक्षस बुला रहे हैं. So when demon comes, or राक्षस जब आता है तो क्या करता है? हमें खा जाता है. This is what demon does. So this is what he means when he says we are summoning the demon. If you, on the left-hand corner, upper side, you see this guy, gentleman, he is no more, is a very famous astrophysicist known as Stephen Hawking. He said that development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. And so they are very, very unequivocal in what they are trying to connect to. And there is a book known as Super Intelligence. You can actually go and buy it on Amazon. And the wonderful book, actually, and I would recommend that you guys study when you get time to it. He said that a Disneyland without children. So the world will have a lot of collaterals, okay, a lot of technology. It will be a wonderful world. But then we children will be not there. It will be a Disneyland, but we children will be not there. This is what Nick Bostrom says. James Barat, he came out and said, whatever we wanted to do on this earth, we have done it. AI is our final invention, artificial intelligence and the end of human era. This is what James Barat, and he has written a book known as Our Final Invention. But I believe that Werner Winge is probably somewhere between, and he looks at the human resilience more. Like the physical extinction of the human race is one possibility, and this is what I believe in more. And I look at some of the gentlemen recently also, like Microsoft guy, Bill Gates. He came out and he said, why can't we understand it? So these gentlemen are very, very unequivocal, very serious people, scientists, business people. They are trying to warn us that artificial intelligence could bring the apocalypse. Okay, so let's try to understand why they are trying to say that to us. Okay, so if you look at this particular set, if you try to understand it, the era which we have entered into at this point of time, okay, this era is of hyper automation, and AI is going to fuel this hyper automation. Okay, this is how the Gartner also is pointing us to out, and this is already happening specifically into every enterprise. I come from IT sector, so a lot of automated process. We are leveraging DevOps for delivering our software from production, from development environment to production environment, and using a lot of robotic process automation tool sets for doing it. Okay, so RPA, DevOps, these kind of automation is already there, which is taking away some of the needs for our delivery managers, the project managers. Even tomorrow with the coders and testers, jobs will be gone. Okay, so advanced analytics, increased team collaboration, this is or greater productivity and greater compliance. And this is not only true for enterprises or companies. This is also true for academic institutions, universities, schools, everywhere. This is going to be an hyper automation era. And we need to be so much aware of this, that this era is coming in very fast for us. Let me, right. So, I'm still visible, I hope, sir. Right.
Yes, you are. Please continue.
Right, sir. I'll need some verbal feedback. Generally, in online mode, you don't get that, the visual feedback. Right. So I was talking about the hyper automation. And if you look at that, when I say the hyper competitive digital enterprise, how it will be different. The difference will be that from programming, what we do today, or the linear algorithms which we write, or linear coding which we do, we humans have been written, and we have written around 8 billion lines of code at this point of time. This is slowly moving towards training, and that will become more apparent as AI and ML, AI becomes more and more prominent and more matured. It will be data and training. Okay, it will be no more programming. That is one aspect. The Moore's law is getting disrupted. Okay, we are already at the productivity on scaling of semiconductors. We are at the end of the line. Okay, I was reading about this ultraviolet lithography, which has now reached to the level of 65 nanometers. Okay, so it has gone down to that level, and probably we cannot go beyond it. So new technology set like neuromorphic chips, or your quantum computing, or photonics, these are going to define the tomorrow's or disrupt the Moore's law, which has been true till date, now to the next level. And I hope you guys know about the Moore's law. It was only told us that every 2 years, our devices which we use become half miniaturized, more miniaturized, more smaller, and becomes twice faster, more powerful, twice more powerful. Okay, that was the Moore's law, and it has been true for last 120 years of this semiconductor era. So that is going to get disrupted, and I will delve a little deeper on that, why I'm saying it and what it means for us. Okay, so data lakes, or a structured data set which we have today, that will become pervasive. So data will be everywhere. Data is going to be the king. It is going to be the water. It is going to be the fire. It is going to be everything for us, and it is already there. We realize it or we don't realize it. All of us, we are generating humongous amount of data sets. Okay, everything about our life is now available to each one of us. Okay, that is the data about us. And it will become from imperative to declarative. All this if-then logic which we are writing to become a goal orientation will come. It will become declarative. Systems will be given a goal and they will try to fulfill it. This is how the world will start changing. The memory, when we started I remember my days in academia, and when I was doing a master's, I was using a machine which was a 386 machine with 256 KB RAM. And today we have got GBs now into it, right? Terabytes. We are using terabytes. Our hard disks have got 2 terabytes of data sets. Okay, our machines, our laptops have got 8 GB of RAM into it, built into it, right? So huge. And this abundance of memory is going to go on increasing only. Okay, it will become abundant. It will become so cheap and abundant, we'll be not even able to realize it. Okay, and it will be persistent also. Data will be persistent. It will be kept. It will be always available to us. From hindsight, we will be moving towards and foresight. Okay, so it is not something that we will look at the things which has happened and then we will take a decision on top of it. We will be predicting it. That's the foresight. We'll start predicting things. Okay, and we are doing it increasingly. So look at the AI perspective. AI is now predicting your heart failure, and and some of these applications are much more accurate than the human doctors. Actually, the accuracy level of a human doctor is around 76.3% when they look at your cholesterol, your other parameters, and predict that you may have a heart failure or cardiac arrest. But an AI-based system, accuracy level has jumped to 86.7%. It's a much more higher AI is predicting it. Okay. From general purpose systems, we'll move towards a build for purpose systems because we will be training it, we'll be analyzing the data, clarifying it, cleansing, clustering it, and then training the algorithms for doing a very specialized job. And that will be for the purpose. So that is how the world will be. From central authority, it will become more distributed. Blockchain and all will be driving this. A more distributed world, and I believe a more distributed technology set is also just. Okay, so from central authority based platforms, we'll be moving to a distributed platforms day in and day out. So a lot of P2P softwares are already very successful, and we'll see more and more of these peer-to-peer softwares coming into picture and gaining the ground. From proprietary, we'll be more towards programming or open systems. Okay, and data burden will become an opportunity. So today, we are struggling with data acquisition. We are struggling to analyze data. We are struggling to make sense out of data. Okay, but that is the opportunity, and that is becoming the opportunity for the coming hyper-competitive digital enterprise. And when I use the word enterprise, mind it is not companies I'm talking about. I'm talking about the enterprises, be it a non-profit foundations, or be it a university, be it a company, or be it an academic institutions or schools, everything, every organization, every enterprise, or government even, they will become hyper-competitive. So if you don't have an AI strategy, you are going to die in a world that is coming. That is how the eBay guy, the CEO, Devin Wang, came out and said. So let's go into a little deeper into defining AI. So you will hear into the, if you type a word on Google, AI, you will hear, or you will see a lot of words like neural network. And by the way, you will hear too, because Siri or your Alexa, all are talking to you now. Okay, and they're also generating humongous data for you when you are talking to them. So when you ask these queries to them, or you type on Google, you will find that a lot of words come to you: neural networks, planning, robotics, machine learning, ontology, natural language processing, NLP, perception, cognitive system. These are all AI, by the way. This all relate to AI, but AI is a very generic word, and it's a pretty large word. Okay, we are living in a world which we call it artificial narrow intelligence. That's the world we are living in. And I'll come and try to tell you what AI is. But before I go there, let me try to explain that AI we can put into two categories. The one category of AI is where we humans are still making the final decision. And the other category of AI is where we are not in the loop. We are not making the decision. AI is making the decision. Now, where we humans are still making decisions, there are two kinds of systems. One system is which is not learning. We have taught it, we have made it learn, and we have deployed it. After that, it doesn't learn anything. Okay, they are hardwired specific systems. And there are other kind of a system which is adaptive in nature. We have made it learn and we have put into force. They are operating, but they are also adapting to the environment around. And these are kind of the systems which are going to become increasingly more and more available, and they'll be also become more and more aware. May not be sentient still, but they'll become more aware of their surroundings. Okay, and they are the adaptive systems. And let me give you an example of this hardware and specific systems and adaptive systems. And the hardware one we call the assisted intelligence. Let's take that we take a flight from Bombay to New York. That's a 14-hour flight. When the flight goes up, you will see the pilot generally, after putting it on autopilot, comes out and have coffee and chit chat with the passengers into the flight, right? So when it puts in the autopilot are generally an assisted intelligence or hardwired systems. They have been trained to fly the plane into a simulated environment, and they know a lot of conditions they can fly the plane. But let's assume a very unexpected scenario, like a UFO comes in front of the plane. Then autopilot will not know how to handle it. Okay, so it will raise an alarm. Pilot will rush back and handle the situation. Okay, he may divert the flight, bring it down, whatever he does, but he will avert the situation, and then again he will put the autopilot and walks away, right? But if this is a hardwired system, it will not learn. Okay, next time again a UFO comes, it will again raise an alarm. This is how it will operate. But but Boeing and all are working on adaptive systems too, and these kind of autopilots, okay, they may have become already available. Okay, and these kind of autopilots, when they will raise an alarm, pilot rushes back and handles the situation. They'll be watching the pilot, the human, how he handles it. Okay, and after that, when he again put on the autopilot and goes away, next time when this incident or this scenario occurs again, AI will not call the human, he will handle it. These are adaptive systems. This is what the adaptive systems are. So let us go to the second side of the barricade, that no humans in the loop. The automation in the industrial automation, they are hardwired, they are written by us. A lot of automotive factories you go in, the whole the line has been automated. You will see robotic arms are putting screws, doors, glasses on the vehicle, painting it up, and the final product is coming out from the conveyor belt. Right? This is an automation. This is industrial automation. But by the way, this is all written by humans. We have written it. These are the linear algorithms. This is the linear or the codes which we have written it to do it. But you go down below the autonomous intelligence. This is an AI application based on algorithms, okay, like neural networks and all. And these algorithms are self-learning. They are adaptive in nature. They are learning. And one example I can give you is of the autonomous vehicles. So autonomous vehicles, you know, they are already driving on developed countries, streets like US, and all companies like Google, Uber, and all are working on it. A lot of companies from truck to taxi, they are putting autonomous vehicles. They are doing pizza delivery. They are ferrying you from one place to another place. And recently, if you must have heard about it, that it killed a lady, a cyclist in US also. And there is a lot of hoopla that on the ethical value system around autonomous vehicles, what will happen, okay, with autonomous vehicles kills to us. And this is a very big area of discussion in itself, and a lot of learning and a lot of work is going on our ethical value system of AI. So let me take you to the next slide. So the AI is all around you. And there are three reasons for when I say the AI is all around you. Three reasons why AI has come back, or the winter of AI is over now at this point of time. First is that humongous computational capability is now available to us, and that too in an OPEX mode, not on CAPEX. Earlier, whenever we used to develop an application and try to deploy it, we used to have our own data centers, and we used to put a lot of money used to be pumped into it. Crores of rupees used to be pumped into putting up these data centers. But as the technology evolved from mainframe to client server to enterprise or open systems or the HTML, the internet world, which we know of, and the cloud, the computational capability on the cloud has become an operational expenditure. It is no more a capital expenditure. You want to develop an application and deploy, how much it may be computationally intensive, you can just have to log into Microsoft Cloud or IBM Cloud or Google or your Amazon Cloud. You just have to log in and put your system and deploy it, and it will scale up fantastically. Be it 10 people or be it crores of people accessing your platform or application, it will scale up. That is what cloud brings in. So humongous computational capability is available. The second reason for AI to come in was your ubiquitous network. So when we started our career, we had this the phones, which has only the voice capability and some SMS capability was there. I remember my days in 90s when I got my first phone. It was an orange SIM and a small device which I used to only talk about, right? But today phones is now 1,000 times more powerful than our phones in last 20 years, right? These devices have got, you are doing a lot of things on that. You are accessing your Facebook or your other P2P applications, your Instagram, your Twitter, everything you are doing it from them. And this, you are accessing this at a very fast speed, or a much more faster speed, which is around 7 to 21 megabits per second, bytes per second. And that is the 4G speed, right? And if you are aware that 5G is also getting rolled out, guys. And with 5G, from 4G technology set, the speed jump will be 450 times. We will be getting a GBPS coming to our mobile devices or whatever devices we'll be using in future with a GBPS over there. Okay, the fiber optics is already available at 1 Gbps, but I'm talking about over the air, it will be 1 Gbps coming to you, and it will change the world dramatically. A lot of immersive technologies will come in. Like the doctors will start operating a patient in Australia, from Delhi to Australia, right? Because the lag time will go away. A lot of immersive technologies like mixed reality, virtual reality will be there. You'll be not watching movie in 2 dimensions as we watch today on our TVs. We will be watching in 3 dimensions. Holograms will become a reality because they are very data crunching implementations. Okay, they will become reality. So along with that, when I say the way the AI is all around us, the third reason for AI implementation coming in that our world has increasingly become data, right? We are making applications either to the university for admissions or for our Aadhaar card or our banking transactions. Everything we are doing online. And with COVID-19, we have started learning online too a lot, right? We have moved completely, universities and schools have moved online completely. And you are well aware that companies like Zoom, which we are talking upon, this particular platform, they have suddenly, from 100 million, they have jumped to $1 billion company, right? So we have become quite on. And this is not going to go away. This is going to continue. This path is going to continue. So the data is the third reason, or increasingly data set which is available, or digital world, is the third reason for AI to come in. Okay. So now these 3 reasons why the AI is changing our world, and the way we travel, the way we do business, the way we shop, the way we do politics, the way we socialize, everything is going to be controlled by AI, or AI inputs will be there. You watch Netflix, the recommendation engine in Netflix is based on AI. It knows what you're watching, what you like to watch, and make it available for you. When you log in next time, it knows which kind of a movie you like, horror movies or you like action adventure, it will put that movies in front of you. You are on YouTube, you're watching videos, the recommendation of engine of YouTube also is based on AI. It knows about you a lot, okay? Google, even if you type half a word on Google and not complete your search, Google knows what you are typing. I was talking about the model which Amazon has, which has got shop and ship, okay? Now they are leveraging AI to move towards ship and shop. So they will predict what you need today, and like a groceries or your iPhone or your any other devices, and you'll open the door in the morning and you will find out that the box is there, Amazon box is available. You'll open it up and your things will be there. You'll be amazed to see that. You'll take out the things which you require, leave the box out, Amazon guy will take away and they will bill you. Okay. So this is how the world is moving very fast. The human parity, if you look at, we have already reached, by 2017, on object recognition, AI has reached from 96%, speech recognition 5.1%, error rate is there, which is actually better than human beings. We have got around 5.5% error rate, so it is doing better than us. By 2018, on machine reading and comprehension, it has reached 38.493. On machine translation, it has reached 70% in 2017, right? So there are applications available like iTranslate and all, which is AI based, which you can converse to a Japanese guy, even if you don't know Japanese, using these devices, okay, or this translation capability. So the human parity is quite near to us. Let me take you through the word I used was artificial narrow intelligence. The world which we have today of the machine learning world, we call it narrow intelligence because it does a certain task and they are doing much more better than human beings, some of them, like driving a car and all. Okay, so this is the narrow intelligence. But if you try to teach anything else, this will be not able to pick it up or learn, or it will forget the last task. But a general intelligence, which is an upcoming world, and Microsoft recently put $1 billion to a foundation like OpenAI, okay, and to develop AGI technologies, artificial general intelligence. Now, AGI will be like us. When I say AGI, so you learn cycling or you learn swimming, you don't forget across the life, right? Even if you are old and you cycle is given to you, you are still able to do the driving. That is how we are built it up. We have got that capability, and this is general intelligence. So the world is trying to develop the general intelligence. From general intelligence to super intelligence is like a collective inbuilt. All the collective human intelligence till date, the knowledge we have gained, the books we have written, if you put together into one, that will be super intelligence. Okay. The world is worried about one thing, that if it is a soft landing, we should not be worried about it. But if it is a hard landing from AGI to ASI, we should be worried about it. Okay, and these AGI technologies, if you look at, there are a lot of innovation triggers which are there. Machine learning world is already climbing the slope of enlightenment. A lot of enterprises adopted. A lot of applications are already available, like it is cooking food for you, machine operator's job, translator, PIM, driver, autonomous vehicles, all are there around you. Okay. So the innovation triggers for AGI, if you look at, there are one which I will specifically focus my energies upon is quantum computing. This is a Gartner hype cycle, guys, which Gartner generally uses to give us a foresight or predict about the technologies which are upcoming, where they are into implementation behavior. So look at the quantum computing part of it. This is the innovation trigger, and why I should be talking about quantum. But before I jump on the quantum computing, let me tell you, the Industrial Revolution 1.0 happened due to steam, and we, as in India, we were not party to that. And the result was they were able to make railway engines, steam ships, machine guns, and we were slaves for 200 years. 2.0, which was based on electricity, Industrial Revolution, it happened. It created the Great Divide, the developed nations and underdeveloped countries. We are still a developing nation. It was based on the consumption of electricity. Okay, how many factories you build it up. We started catching up the world with Industrial Revolution 3.0, which was based on computing. We are exporting $287 billion worth of IT exports or services, which we are providing. We have got 3.5 million people working into IT industry at this point of time, right? The 4.0, which is happening, is based on intelligence, AI. Okay, and if we are not party to this in this particular revolution, probably this time we are going to be left out permanently. So let me go back to the quantum computing. This is very important perspective. I wanted to bring it forward. But before that, let me go back to the quantum computing part of it, this innovation trigger. Why quantum computing is a disruption which can provide AI, or we call it quantum AI. Okay, our brain that does around 26 quadrillion computations per second, and it does at a speed of 120 meters per second. Whereas a supercomputer like Hunan 1 in China, it does around 32 quadrillion computation per second at a speed of light. But the comparison ends there. We consume only 20 watts for doing 26 quadrillion computations per second, whereas Hunan 1 consumes 24 megawatts. For doing 26 quadrillion computations per second, our brain occupies only the cranial, right? This khopri. But Hunan 1 requires 724 square meter space. That is around 7 two-bedroom apartments. Okay, so technology is still not there where your human brain can be delved into a silicon, or we can map human brain directly into a computer. The capability is still not there. But if quantum computing as it is coming in, and you must have read that Google has claimed the supremacy and supremacy in quantum computing, right? Supremacy in what? Supremacy is in only terms of 72 qubits. Okay, a general purpose machine of quantum computer will be 100 million qubits, which will be there available. Okay, more than a lakh qubits should be available to give it a general purpose feeling of it. Okay, so we are not there in quantum computing, but the world is walking towards the quantum computing much more. When a general purpose quantum computing or quantum will be available, okay, to us, okay, not the today's IBM, and they are quite powerful machine. They are so powerful that doing a calculation which probably a supercomputer will take 450 years, that calculation, algorithm calculation, it took only 7 seconds to do it. Okay, that's the world which quantum computers will bring in. Or I will give you a very simple example. The laptop which I am using currently to deliver this whole lecture, okay, if I get a quantum laptop tomorrow, it will be 100 million times more powerful. 10 crore laptop को जोड़ के जो laptop बनेगा वो quantum laptop होगा. Okay, so 500 qubits is more powerful than the computer of world connected together, and we are talking about 100,000 qubits to bring in a general purpose quantum computing. It will change dramatically the AI world, and it is already doing it, and that we call it a quantum AI, which will be much more powerful. It will exceed the human intelligence. Okay, so the quantum computer will bring in, and this is what we are referring to. So you can well imagine Hunan 1 jumps to 100 million times or disrupts the Moore's law, mapping the human brain to silicon world will become a possibility, right? At this point of time, we are at level 3 in AI, okay, and already we are talking about the ethical world of AI. Like I gave you an example of autonomous vehicle. Imagine when autonomous vehicle, the ethical problem which people are discussing about, it's that problem which is being discussed, the cartel problem. The problem is that if an autonomous vehicle is driving, okay, and there are 3 people on the pedestrian on the left hand side, and there is a wall on the right hand side, and you are sitting inside. As the humans, if there is a failure into telematics, what we do, okay, if the brake fails, we'll hit the wall, will not kill the pedestrian on the left hand side. But what AI will do? Okay, the current autonomous vehicle may kill the autonomous vehicle because humans are not humans for him at this point of time. They are just like an object. So there is a value system which needs to be built in, and that is a problem statement which world is grappling currently. And as the AI moves from level 3 to level 5, okay, and becomes more matured, this will be the biggest thing which will be there, which we have to grapple and put our policies. Governments have to think through and put laws and policies around it. Okay. On AI focus areas currently, there are a lot of technologies which are being worked upon, like whole brain emulation. So we are moving from flops to SOPs. IBM has already announced and brain in a box by 2020. Okay. So from floating point operations, we started talking about synaptic operations per second or neuromorphic chips. Okay. We are talking about seed AI, just like human beings. It will take birth, okay, and then it will develop the brain knowledge or the knowledge set of it, or reality which we are party to it over a period of time. But we take 21 years to become an adult. It take probably 21 months to become an adult. We'll be no more typing. We'll be not putting gestures. We'll be not talking to AI. We will be thinking and interacting with it. That is the BCI focus which is there currently. So a lot of predictions on technological singularity. It is inevitable, guys, at this point of time. Okay, and if you look at some of these timelines, they say high-level machine intelligence or a humanoid which is as capable as will become available by 2050. But you know how technology works. The timelines can be crunched in. Or when the Moore's law is already getting disrupted, these timelines can come in very fast, and we should be aware of it and become party to this. Why we should be aware of or we should be afraid of ASI? Let me try to explain that in little.
So Kundana, I know you have a lot of knowledge, lot of stuff to share with our participants. We have to control the time here also. So if you can quickly move on to the career options or what students ultimately would be looking for when they join any academic institution in the area and work in the area of artificial intelligence, machine learning. Could you please focus more on that now, from now onwards?
Right, sir. So I'll complete this up and I'll move to the job perspective quickly on that. Right, sir. So let me, on the ASI front, if you look at, we humans operate between 90 to 140 IQ level. We are the most intelligent species. But if you go down below on intelligence staircase, on gorillas and chimpanzees are there. They operate between 30 to 40 IQ level. You cannot explain algebra or trigonometric theorem to him, right? Chickens which do have 15 to 20 IQ level, we eat day in and day out. Insects which does have, we are learning a lot from them on swarm computing on AI front. They do have an IQ level of 5 to 10. We have announced a chemical warfare against them. So on the right hand side, if you come to, you will see the biological range of intelligence on this earth from humans to insects. That is it. But ASI or AGI will be operating at 5,000 IQ level. Artificial super intelligence will be operating at 12,500 IQ level. We will have only two options, okay? Because the strategic thoughts, theorems, or innovations which AI will bring on the table, we'll be not able to appreciate. We'll be like insects in front of it, okay? AI is reached only the mosquito. So we'll have two options, either the extinction or become immortals, okay? Let us try to explore that. But before I walk into it, AI will provide us a decisive strategic advantage, okay? Just like nuclear bombs and the Star Wars or the IRBMs and ICBMs. And that is something which we should be working upon to give it a soft landing. And India, as an Indians, we should be party to it. Immortality on the age front, it will push our timelines on our age. Okay, we are now 70 years of life expectancy. It can be moved up to 150 years, or probably being more immortal as AI moves into genetic engineering or innovation cycles. We call it runaway innovation, and we should be aware that if we are not party to it, there'll be no catching up. Top 100 AI companies are in Northern America at this point of time. They are putting up humongous amount of money. So as Sir pointed out, let me come to the slide where what kind of jobs, because AI will first impact our jobs, okay? It will create a lot of jobs. It will create immense economic wealth, by the way, okay? But it will also take away a lot of jobs which are, if you look at this slide, the jobs where there is no compassion is needed. A human compassion is not needed and can be optimized. Jobs that are manual in nature, those jobs will be gone. Okay, AI will take over. But the jobs where creativity, strategy is needed and compassion needed, those jobs will be still available to human beings. So we should be prepared for the world where a lot of creativity is required, a lot of strategic thought processes are required, and where there is a human empathy is required. Those jobs will be get created, and that is the job we should be get aligned to it more and more, right? This job gone. Humans will be increasingly leveraging AI in all the jobs in coming age. So we should be in our curriculum, and whatever we do, we need to adopt data analytics, AI, mathematical and statistical foundation into our understanding. That is very, very imperative, and AI-based technologies into it. So jobs at 60K below, jobs like personal care, store clerks, retail sales, they'll be all under attack, okay, by AI. And if you look at this gentleman, he's Putin, right? He said very clearly, Whoever becomes the leader becomes the ruler of the world. Leader in AI space will become the ruler of the world. They are very clear. They are driving towards to become the rule of the world, leveraging AI. Be it in autonomous weapons, be it into exoskeletons, be it in robotics. Okay, and we should be investing more time, more energy into it. US is putting $3 trillion at this point of time in AI. Companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, IBM, they have all made hands. They have created a strategy. They call it AI first strategy. They are sharing the IPs. They have got a website. You can go and hit that website. That is partnership on AI. There is an emerging new world order on AI. We should be aware of it. In IP research or AI research, China has already surpassed United States at this point of time. Okay, the more than 67% of all the deals which is happening in AI space, it is happening in Northern America. We should become party to it. We should work towards it to become party to it. And I believe that India is on cusp of century's biggest opportunity. We have got 3.5 million professionals, IT professionals itself. We have got more than 3,500 institutions. Okay, we have got humongous number of people being produced. Okay, resources which are coming out. If you look at, obviously on a population graph, we have jumped up to 1.35 billion, but in GDP we have grown up. Okay, we have grown up in exports and imports. The length of Indian roads, which tells you about the life which is around us. Okay, the food-grown production, which we have all grown up into it. So India is on the cusp of the century's biggest opportunity. We should leverage AI. That is how we should be looking at from the perspective from. Thank you, sir. I believe I was able to complete it up in right time, probably a minute here and there, probably.
No, Kundana, it was indeed a wonderful overview and great insight into the future of computing, which is in store for us. And I think that it will be completely a different world in times to come. But the new technology certainly will bring in new challenges too. And we need to keep ourselves abreast and create a right ecosystem of learning in academic institutions. Since we are typically talking of an audience which is more of aspiring students who want to pursue career in artificial intelligence. So we as academic leaders, what do you think our curricula should be like, which we can call it as curricula for future generation?
So my thought process on that is basically in a few terms. One is that our curriculum should include more statistical and mathematical foundations, okay, and we should be intervening not only at a higher education level, but at a curriculum itself, the school level itself, and bringing more foundations into it. Probably we should be at a university level, we should be launching, or institutional level, we should be launching a lot of foundational courses, which will give an overview to students and the people who are there, or I believe a lot of school children are there here. Okay, they need to learn about these AI and emerging technologies, all aspects of it, to make a career choice what they want to do. Okay, we should be more focused on our faculty. There is an awful lack of faculty into AI and emerging space.
Yeah, so yeah, as you rightly mentioned that there would be school children and the things have to start from the school level. In fact, I have a couple of questions from the children. They're curious about why do we call artificial intelligence a demon?
Right, sir. So should I respond to that?
Yeah. Why do we call this as a demon?
So right. So when Elon Musk says that we are summoning the demon, okay, he is actually referring to artificial super intelligence, that world which is coming in. And if the kids who are there, they must have seen Terminator, the Skynet, right? There's a lot of movies, the fictional movies which are there. But you know how science fiction movies works. They become a reality tomorrow. And to avoid that, what he's trying, or even Bill Gates when he said, why can't we understand it? They are trying to warn us. They are trying to say that the ethical value or the good AI or bad AI, okay, we need to understand that quickly. We need to put policies or probably technologies in place to sandbox AI, okay, so that it should not create a nuisance for us. It should not become detrimental to human beings, okay. It is like this autonomous vehicle. We developed this autonomous vehicle, and autonomous vehicle, if it goes mad and start killing humans, it is a bad AI. Okay, how can we stop it? How can we bring in value system? So these are only warning algorithms. When we are saying it is a demon, it can be a demon. Okay, there is a probability to be demon, and we need to put that into control and into a perspective. That's the focus these statements are making.
Well said. One of the kids want to know what is the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality.
So virtual reality is like a movie. It's a virtual world. You can take your phone and put a Google Cardboard into it, and you can watch your phone in 3-dimensional. Okay, that is based on your eye depth actually, and they manipulate that. But that's a virtual world. There is no reality into it. But if in the real world you use your phone, and some of the new iPhones which has come in, it has got a lidar in sense the depth now. You on the real world you can project certain things. That will be an augmented reality, some data sets or some information or some graphics on the real environment you are sitting on. Like you are sitting on a seashore and you can put up some article, some Aki in front of you, then that's an augmented reality. That's the basic difference between it. But you know what? The virtual reality and augmented reality world has merged, and there are devices like HoloLens, Ajna Lens. These devices are coming in. We call it mixed reality, where virtual reality is also projected on the real world. Okay, so that is also available. Okay, and this is the mixed reality. You can go on YouTube and hit it on HoloLens and all. You can learn more on mixed reality. And they are saying by next 4 or 5 years, we will be living our smartphones and laptops and using these mixed reality devices like Apple Lens or HoloLens and all for our daily life.
Rubal, I can see some hands raised here. So will it be possible that if you can unmute any of them, maybe name like Archit Singla
Sure,
is
sir.
there,
Sure,
and let's see if he has any question.
Sure, sir. We'll do it. Doing it.
Singular raised his hand.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. So.
I was not able to hear, sir.
Yeah. Are you unmuting him, Rubal?
Yeah. Yes, sir. He'll be able to speak.
Hi, Archit.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Tell me, Archit. You have got a question, Archit?
Okay. Could you please unmute Dr. Anmol Goyal?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Good evening, Honorable VC sir. Mr. Kundana, my simple question is that where India stands as far as this AI is concerned in comparison with China or in comparison with USA?
So, see, we have started making investment. If you are saying that, we are becoming increasingly aware about AI technology set. But a recent article which I was reading, probably from the technology gap, the areas which they are working and we are still not working, I think we are lagging behind by 10 years or a decade probably. And obviously we need to catch up quickly into this space and bring in a lot of these research and innovations to our academia and enterprises.
Okay. Sir, one more question is for Honorable Vice-Chancellor.
Yeah,
Dr. Arora.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, myself, Dr. Anmol Goyal, I am working in Hyderabad as a Vice Principal and Dean Academics. Some private colleges there, and we are a NAC A+ institute. So it's a 20-year-old institute, basically. Sir, it's a general question, basically. Sir, now see, upon recommendation from MHRD or AICT, we have implemented this OBE Now we have established many, advanced technology center like AI, robotics there at our campus. There's lot of, activities happening everywhere. But despite all this, despite all these efforts, I'm not getting, good student, good stuff. So means what is the way out? I know you are a, well-known academician, and earlier you have been a director at Tech also. My native place is also Punjab. I am from Mohali, basically.
To be to be quick here, I would say that it is the learning field which we have to give to the students. No students is good or bad. So if we are giving them a learning platform, they can figure it out. So they are very smart, they are very agile. So we should not be worried about the quality of the students. It's just a platform which we need to give to them, and everything would be fine. Thank you, Dr. Goel. We can talk offline. Otherwise,
no, actually,
thank you very much. Please, please. Now, in fact, we will be having an exclusive webinar on automation and robotics next week or next to next week. But still, there is a question from a child that he is curious to know what is robotics. If you can throw light on that, Kundan.
What, sir? Can you repeat the question, sir? Let me see the chat. Is there no chat?
What is robotics?
Oh, the basic question, robotics. Okay. So AI needs a humanoid form, right? So we are also think like this. We are an AI. We have got a brain, but to express ourselves or to interact with the environment around us, we need hands, we need eyes, okay, and also to grasp and become part of it, we need all devices like our hands, legs, and all. So similarly, to interact with the environment around, you need an implementation, and which is made from probably iron, silicon, and plastics. And these implementations, we call it robotics. But the brain is still there, okay? So it leverages the brain like us, okay, to do the jobs. It walks, and you can actually go on YouTube and visit Boston Dynamics, okay, or visit Sophia, type Sophia, or go to Boston Dynamics. You'll see these robots, which are like us, humanoids. They are walking, they are talking, they are moving around, okay, they are the robotics. They're doing a lot of things, they're carrying weight, okay, so this implementation, we call it robotics.
Will it be possible to unmute Ashima Jain if she is able to?
Yes, sir.
Please ask your
Good
question.
evening, sir.
Yeah, Ashima?
Sir, I have a question that if AI have much more IQ than us humans, then it won't be a threat to us.
Obviously,
like they would operate us human beings.
Ashima,
Thank you,
right.
Ashima.
Right, you are right. AI at this point of time in narrow intelligence world doesn't have that. It is not sentient. It does not have an IQ. Okay, it does only a task orientation. But as it matures, and when AGI and ASI will become available to us, or AGI will become available to us, obviously it will have a lot of IQ than us. AGI is being projected to have IQ level of 5,000. Okay, we humans have got only 90 to 140 IQ level. Einstein was 140, by the way. So the problem is not between that. We have to also think through that how do we sandbox it and how do we interact with it. Okay. Obviously, the fear factor which is there is, we call it perverse instantiation. You can give him a problem, okay, and he can do a perverse instantiation of it. That is the fear, okay, and we need to develop strategies, technologies to contain that, or sandbox AI to contain that, so it is not detrimental to us, okay. So that perverse instantiation, let me tell you what perverse instantiation is. Like tomorrow, the AGI is available, which is super intelligent, or ASI is available, and we go and tell him, कि भाई दुनिया से भूख मिटा दो, okay, and the AI will think, and he may decide कि भाई ये भूख लगती किसको है, and he will decide, oh, humans को भूख लगती है, तो humans को मिटा दो तो भूख खत्म हो जाएगा. This is known as perverse instantiation. Okay, this is a perverse logic, and you know how it is easy to kill the human. That is the fear. Okay, That is where the fear of their intelligence is. So we have to develop the technology, and you guys are the people who will be developing these ethical value systems and sandboxing and strategies to contain AI.
So yeah, Kundana rightly said. I think these are the guys who have to develop it, the next generation guys. You indeed have touched upon the kinds of jobs which will go away and a new breed of roles that will enter the arena. Can you be specific on this with regard to the new generation of technologies and the technical and soft skills which will be required now, besides knowledge in these areas?
So, sir, you rightly pointed out earlier only that a lot of empathy is required into our jobs. Okay, we students need to develop a lot of strategic thinking, a lot of empathy or creativity in whatever they are doing, because these high-level jobs for humans, which we are apt fit for it, okay, will become available. The drudgery will be gone. The manual jobs will be gone. Okay, so what is fit for a human being, those jobs will become available to us. Okay, so we will be looking at what kind of jobs, sir? We will be looking more AI oriented, like artificial intelligence analyst kind of a job. Every company will require it. They need people who can look after the data the company is generating, how to analyze it, how to take benefit out of it, okay, how to predict things. Oh, this is where they'll be looking, be it CRM, be it enterprise applications, be it SCM application, everywhere they'll be looking at it. Okay, they'll be looking at data scientists to make sense out of the data. Okay, so they'll be looking at 5G specialists. They'll be looking at blockchain specialists. So these are the jobs, and the intermingling of AI and these technologies together. This is where they'll be looking at more skills.
So in fact, Kundan, you just now talked about 5G. I have a question here from a participant here, that 5G is more than 70 times faster than 4G. People are talking about benefits of seamless connectivity, but no one is talking about the health hazards in terms of radiation. What do you have to say on that?
So, sir, there are questions being raised. I believe I'm actually also the part of National Working Group on 5G and AI with technical TEC, Department of Telecommunication. And this question is there. They are being measured. And obviously, there is a concern because with 5G technology, the current set of technology, which is more of a Wi-Fi routers will be available very close to us, more powerful routers. So instead of cells, it will come very near to our home and our living spaces, these routers. So obviously, there is a concern around it, but I'm not very sure that a lot of them will be unfounded because this kind of scaremongering has always there into technology. Even in 4G world, it was there. Before that, the transformers which used to get installed into our society and mahalla, there were a lot of issues around it. People used to raise a lot of scaremongering. So these are not unfounded. There is no valid medical background. But we need to go on exploring, understand our interaction as these technologies invade us more and more.
Great, Kundana. I think we have already 15 minutes over than our scheduled time. I think the discussions can continue to go on and on because I have many more questions and raised hands also. But I think we need to close at some point of time. I know you have touched upon many new things which people might not have heard about it, and this is the future of computing, and probably we can have another sequence of this webinar on this topic because it's a very important topic in today's context, and which in fact will define the future of the world. So I must thank Kundana for this, but I must also inform the people that we are in talks with the Vitti Foundation to look into the possibility of offering some joint certification courses in the area of AI, ML, data analytics, computer vision, IoT, 5G, blockchain, and so on. I believe that these foundation level courses will provide quite extensive input to learners, helping them decide which stream in AI and emerging technology space they would like to focus more as their career choice and go on for more intensive professional level courses. I would now request Nandita to just close the session with some closing remarks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lal, for an absolutely incisive, what do you call it? The things that you brought in your conversation. These are revelations for us, and especially, of course, we would have liked to know more about artificial general intelligence, because I think that would be something that would impact all human beings and not only people from the STEM background. So, yes, we do hope to continue these series of conversations further. We really thank you for taking your time out to come and address our audience. And we would also thank VC sir for providing the platform for these kinds of discussions to take place. Thank you, sir. And we again sincerely, render our sincerest appreciation to Mr. Lal for the inputs that he has given on AI, and hope to take this forward in the future too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And I wish all the best to the young brigade who are looking forward to make AI as their career.
Yes.
Thank you.